rebel with a cause, just a girl up with a thrill. Wandering through the shadows, never knowing what to feel. I thought I was a shaman, master whispers in the night. They underestimated, tried to keep me from the light. But I saw them mind control, every twist, every bend. So I turned it all around, made the game start to end. Now it's happened, ain't that eternal return? Are you conscious, do you burn, do you want to learn? Do you whisper in the dark, that's like if you wanna see. Figure out how to treat this water, take it if you're free. Loopholes, riddles, victims asking why. Justice brings some grace, echoes pierce the sky. Oh, but I saw them mind control, every twist, every bend. So I turned it all around, made the game start to end. Now it's happened, ain't that eternal return? Are you conscious, do you burn, do you want to learn? Take very love, keep a smile in the ground. The roots grew deeper and we made a sound. I'm the who took it, who never stopped the fight. Reversing the shadows between truth to light. Throwing balls and victims, they won't be ignored. I'm here for justice to settle the score. Through trials and whispers, I grew stronger with time. What was hidden from me now sings in rhyme. Oh, but I saw them mind control, every twist, every bend. So I turned it all around, made the game start to end. Now it's happened, ain't that eternal return? Are you conscious, do you burn, do you want to learn? Answer the call.
And welcome back, brothers and sisters. I believe it is 3:20. We're getting equinoxy close, right? And I am Joseph. Maria's Joseph, greeting you from St. Louis, Missouri. And we've been, that is Saint Lucifer, Miss Urea. And we've been reading the rune explanations of the last avatar, Miguel Serrano. And we got cats. We got cats walking around. We have war in the air in America. The mass murder of Persians that we don't really even know anything about. And we just speak a calm to the storm and know that the moment anyone dies, they are 1/1,000,000th of a millimeter out of their body with another body, exactly like the one that just died. Causing some people not to know that they died. And most people I've met on this plane of existence that had died did not know they died and thought they dreamed that they died. And I can understand that. When I was a Christian, before I discovered the truth about reality, about what's real and what's not, I had 3 dreams where I died in the dream and the dream kept going. It didn't end. It didn't shock me enough to wake me up. 2 of the dreams, I drowned and I started floating away from my body, seeing my other body and then looking at at this new body and, completely being conscious that, oh my God, I just fucking died. And I knew it. This was exactly my first thoughts in each one of them. Each dream that I didn't know I was dreaming, and I died. It happened each time. It happened quicker than I could ever imagine. It was like 1 minute. I mean 1 minute, millisecond. I was struggling for my life. The next, it was over. It was just pop. It's over. Um, each time, my very first thoughts were, I knew it. I fucking knew it. You live after you die. You just keep living. I didn't know exactly how, I think the first one I had was in 2000. I had, I tell this in a video, a dream that I was on this incredible roller coaster, and it went on for quite a while until it went on. I mean, it was a long roller coaster, right? Like it went on like 20 or 30 minutes at this point, just jerking me around, just plunging down so fast. And like the first 5 times, people loved it. And I've never really been big on these things. I don't like being up high, for one thing. And I was never really enjoying it, you know. And from like a half a mile away, I seen that the roller coaster just left off in construction, going out into the ocean. It was like in the city. And then at the end of it, it was going out into the ocean, and everyone thought it was just going to like go around the ocean and then come back into the city, do some tricks and come back in. But somehow I felt like in the dream that it was supernatural, that I glimpsed that the thing was still in construction, and that it was just ended with just construction just cut off with no end. The end was the ocean itself, like way out there too. So I'm like, I'm gonna fucking die in like 30, 40 seconds. I am going to die. These people don't know. And just as I was kind of trying to come to some kind of peace with this, the other people on the roller coaster seeing what I seen, they start screaming and going nuts. And it just lifted off the tracks and was just floating up in the air, flying the momentum, flying. And I closed my eyes when it lifted off the track. And I just thought I'll just keep my eyes closed the whole time. And like my sense of like physics and gravity, I was like, hold it. Cause I've never had a lucid dream in my life. I thought this was real. And, as like felt like the momentum was carrying it up still, I was like, I just got to open my eyes. And when I opened my eyes, I was floating past the top of the arch in St. Louis, Missouri, Miss Urea. And my mind, the first thing it said is, how the fuck can this be? And my second thought was like, how did I mistake St. Louis for Los Angeles and the ocean for the river, the Mississippi River. Like, because I was taking it literal. And it floated, and the people were like Willy Wonka movie. They were just like, whoa, they were just way more emotional each way, screaming that we're all gonna die, and then marveling that we're floating above the arch in St. Louis. And it like paused and just floated for a second, and then just like 1, 2, 3, it just plunged like natural gravity. But check this out. Something said to me, open your eyes. And when I did, it was like we were moving faster than the speed of sound. It was, and my mind registered, we're now, before we were supernaturally floating above the arch in St. Louis. Now we're supernaturally plunging supernaturally fast. Not, this isn't just gravity. I was like, this is, like my mind said, faster than the speed of sound. And I like sense like, oh my God, I'm going to go across the whole country to Los Angeles, to the ocean, to the Pacific Ocean in a fucking moment. And all the people were screaming twice what they were. I mean, they were throwing up. They were going crazy. They were losing their mind at how fast we were going. And just the impact of the roller coaster cars into the ocean was so powerful. It like blew apart the entire roller coaster. And I realized, like, man, this is fucking supernatural. And it was like all went white, and all I seen was like the bubbles, that would be coming up from a crazy, gigantic bullet going into the ocean supernaturally fast. And all of a sudden, out of the bubbles, I seen my own body like floating, just like, like a dead with no life, just floating. And I was like, oh my God, I died. I was like, makes sense. I mean, the thing was plunging from who knows how high. So, I died. And the moment, I sometimes you question your photographic memory, of what was said. And when I looked at my body, a supernatural voice said to me, this is where she is. This is where she is. Like I said, I had this dream in 2001. And that she is Maria Orsic. But it's also all the people she's one with. She's dynamic. Is the word that came to. I mean it though. I mean that she's able to switch bodies with many people over and over and over. My mother-in-law, she was like, I am her. This was the first person she taught me this about. And I said, I don't understand what you mean. What do you mean? You are her. And she said, I mean, before you became aware of everything that's going on in reality, I would literally switch bodies with her and basically give her a break from reality. And I would actually be my spirit in her body. Is that clear enough? I was like, damn, but that's possible. It was being shown to me over and over and over and over, and I was just each time like, that's possible. There's a lady out there. Uh, I forget her last name. Vicky Lynn Chin, I believe her last name is Chen. She does like sound therapy and t- um, talks like kind of like mine. And Maria, of all people, anywhere, she told me, I want you to leave a comment and listen to her and leave a comment. And I didn't hear Vicky Lynn say this in any of her talks, but I left a comment one day on one of her videos saying Maria Orsic taught me in 2011 that how you heal someone, the deepest, most effective way to heal someone physically from a disease that's killing them is to switch bodies with them, and that's like a total sensory connection to mind, body, spirit, all of it. If you can, and some people can do this, you know. And I was telling her that's what we do. That's what I've been taught. That's like the kind of the heart of amor and love is that we're so close we can switch bodies and help each other this way. And she commented back and told me, I've never heard anyone say this to me. She said, but that's actually what I do. She said, in my mind, in myself, I go into another realm with the person that I'm trying to heal, and I switch bodies with them. Because, check this out. Check this out. Everything in any universe, including the Matrix, is first information. That's what we call knowledge. You have to like do this in your mind. Knowledge is not your understanding of something. Knowledge is just data. Okay? To really, really, really heal someone, you have to get their real Venusian DNA data. You need the numbers and letters. You need the data. Everyone's not the same. Matter of fact, everyone's an individual. Exactly opposite. Exactly opposite of everyone being the same is that every single person is completely unique. Completely. And the only way to heal them is to experience their uniqueness. And to switch bodies is how you do that. To switch bodies is like the, complete download of the whole thing. As far as, and we do this out of necessity a lot. On another plane, and we don't even remember that we do it. Okay. And with that, we're going to start our reading, right? Miguel Serrano, Nietzsche, and Eternal Return. We left off talking about on these high peaks and troughs reached by contemporary mathematicians and physicists, true poets. The eagle cannot fly or trace its circles there because there is no matter. Because our matter has died. Only neutrinos pass through there. Positrons that we do not see and do not see us. These are the angels, messengers from another reality, from the other skies, other futures and galaxies. We can see them as infinitely small, but perhaps they are infinitely great. They are the angels who do not see us. But is it certain that they do not see us? Is it certain they do not see us? These positrons, time that travels to the past, chapter 4. Time that travels to the past. Who is this strange character? The positron, with a name like the city of Poseidon, Atlantis. Something unthinkable, an electron with a positive charge. In truth, an anti-electron, an anti-particle. And behold, the learned quantum physicists discover antiparticles. For every particle, there is an antiparticle. 50 have already been discovered. An entire sea of cosmic emptiness would then be populated with electrons of positive charge, in which no emptiness exists. Those particles are the opposite of every one of our particles. Therefore, they act following contrary laws or without laws. You hear? Pure surrealism, entering or leaving through two doors at the same time. To walk forward, we must walk backwards. To see something, one need not look at it. You hear that? To see something, one need not look at it. To see it, one must do not see it. Do not see it. One must look at it. Let me read that again. Pure surrealism, entering or leaving through back doors at the same time. To walk forward, we must walk backwards. To see something, one need not look at it. Do not see it, one must look at it. All this, so to speak, to try to give an idea of the absurdity of this other reality. Other reality. It is reality. The space of poetry, antimatter. Other galaxies may possibly consist of antiparticles exclusively of antimatter. In some other part of the universe, other laws govern the universe. In some other part of the universe, other laws govern the universe. Or there are no laws, as Nietzsche said. Here on Earth, the antiparticles have short life and cannot persist. But there, perhaps, yes. And will our particles, our proparticles, be the short-lived ones because they will be anti? When matter and antimatter meet in the universe, they disintegrate each other. Is it possible? Is it thought that the suicide of the supernovas are due to this fatal encounter? And also, is this the combat of the angels of Lucifer with those of the archangel Michael? Sure is. Are these already the regions of Father Ether? Those of Holderin? Holder Lin, who likewise lost his reason in the encounter with these terrible angels. Time that travels to the past. Feynman, a physicist, suggests that the positron is simply an electron that, for a moment, moves backwards in time, right? Feynman, a physicist, suggests that the positron, the anti-electron, is simply an electron that, for a moment, moves backwards in time. The same would happen with every antiparticle. In the Feynman diagram, representing space and time, the particles can move forwards and backwards in time. We ask, when an antiparticle visits us, does it truly visit us, or is it just a particle that has suddenly moved back in time? And if it visits us, is it something that comes to us from the future? Did you hear that? If it visits us, is it something that comes to us from the future? Are there galaxies, worlds, entire regions of the universe where time goes in reverse, moving from future to past? The visitors who do not persist here on contact with this atmosphere where time goes towards the future to advance through these sensitive regions now working, hypotheses have been proposed, right? To advance through these sensitive regions, new working hypotheses have been proposed. For example, the universe of 5 dimensions with 3 spaces and 2 times, suggested by Eddington, right? With 3 spaces and 2 times. But the one who has gone the furthest, trying to open the doors that breach in the physics, is a mathematician, Adrian Dobbs. Adrian Dobbs perfects the hypothesis of the 2 times, or rather a time in 2 dimensions. This is exactly explaining the matrix. A time in 2 dimensions, right? This one, and you're laying on a bed in Venus a whole other time. The first dimension of time goes towards the future, the matrix. Towards the future, we're 4.5 million years. Million. Like a bow. The first dimension of time goes towards the future like a bow. The second dimension moves in waves like a great breathing, like a in em, in a an emanation, a breathing. The second the first dimension of time moves towards the future. The second moves in waves like a great breathing in and out. In the first, the law of causality operates. In the second, probability. Going towards the future is casualty, operates. The breathing is the probabilities of the matrix. We would say the probabilities, chance, full of meaning, operate there. By considering the probabilities in the second dimension, one could anticipate one's self. This is how the matrix works. By considering the probabilities in this second dimension, not this one, but the one just like it, one could anticipate oneself. From thence, the experience of telepathy and premonitory dreams, that is, deja vu, real deja vu. In the second dimension of time, the objective possibilities of the future are contained like compressed, condensed, dispositional factors. You hear that? In a second dimension of time, objective possibilities of the future are contained and are compressed, condensed, dispositional. Dispositional. They're waiting to be put in position. Factors. They are the seed atom of Hinduism and occultism. The negative of the picture. The negative of a photo. That would incline or predispose the future to occur. What the future would be in a very certain way. This is how powerful your true self is. The fifth dimension of time goes towards the future. The second dimension moves in waves like a great breathing. The first is the I was saying casualty. I'm so sorry. In the first, the law of causality operates. That's how dumb I am. Causality, cause and effect, of course. But I was looking at Maria said, give yourself a break. I was looking at the basically the result of cause and effect is a, fatal, a casualty. It is a death. It kills you. And I mean, that's how I see it. So they said there's two dimensions, right? Happening at the same time in one reality. One is going towards the future. The second moves in waves like a great breathing. In the first, the law of causality operates. In the second, the law of probability operates. But we would say of this law of probability that it is chance full of meaning, and that chance full of meaning must operate there in the law of probability, chance. Now, why is chance full of meaning? Because by considering the probabilities of this second dimension, other dimension, one can anticipate oneself very accurately. From thence, the experience of telepathy and premonitory, premonitory, premonitory dreams. In other words, from thence the experience of telepathy and deja vu through dreams. I was like, I just have to pause here and say, I was when I was reading this book for the first time, I was like, you have to fucking be kidding me that he just said that when I've had this little blonde, beautiful blonde lady who's here with us now, telling me, listen, the best, listen what she told me in 2011 before I knew anything. The clearest way to know you knew someone before you came here, she's like, this is just totally your true self. Joe would do this. You would have yourself dream about them before you ever met them in reality. I went, oh, that's genius. Not even knowing that this is written in this book. Not and listen, nigga, fuck you. You know, if you're like you're making shit up, fuck you. I'm sorry to be confrontational about it like that, but I don't know. This is like I said, March 20th, 2026, where we're full out genociding, basically beginning the genocide of the whole world. From thence, this experience of telepathy, deja vu, in the second dimension of time, the objective possibilities become the effects and their causes in the first dimension. Okay? And maybe I should just break off right here and read the first thing that Maria ever had me write down. And she told me to write it in the back of the book, Ultimate Avatar, because she was the goddess that was directing this book unapologetically. Okay? This is what she had me write. Your waking self, or like she's right here saying, I should have said matrix self. Your waking self has to catch up with your astral self. What she was saying to me, these rituals, you're out of your body, walking around in another body, that's called the astral self. All right? It's ahead in reality than your waking, normal matrix self. Your astral you, Joe, is actually ahead in time. Because that self is walking backwards towards and practically and literally towards its birth into the matrix. So it's actually ahead in the future than your awareness. The key, Maria says, the Missouri River goddess says, the key is learning that you can trust your astral self as if it is all powerful. Your astral self, if you have one, what she means there is if you're a shaman or the student of a shaman or in relationship with magic plants, we're not going to fucking give that up, nigga. Is your astral self, if you have one, is the being that activates predestination. The destination you planned before you came here and injects meaning into random events, causing everything to mean something when at the time it meant something totally different. Right? In other words, at the time you misunderstood the true meaning. Your consciousness, your awareness, has the ability to create a story where there was, in reality, nothing, because you're in the matrix. Knowing this, you must live. Knowing this, you must turn it on its head. You must flip it and live by the magic astral self, imagining your escape and rebirth into your immortal body, imagining your escape from the matrix and your rebirth into your immortal body back home on Venus. You must be the warrior and never the victim. Right? Probabilities in the second dimension make you practically able to anticipate yourself in this one. In the second dimension of time, the objective possibilities become the effects. In the second dimension, the other dimension that you don't see, the objective possibilities become the effects and their causes. The effects and the cause of the first dimension. The second dimension, which is a little bit ahead, becomes the dimension, the objective possibilities. The objective possibilities become the effects and their causes, the ends and the means of the first dimension. Dobbs says in a second dimension of time, the objective possibilities of the future are contained like compressed, condensed dispositional factors. The seed atom of Hinduism and occultism, the negative of the picture. That would incline or predispose the future to occur in a certain way or not, we add. That's right, because you're trying to change it because it's already happened. So let us continue our story. Where are the probabilities? Where are they? What is this other world? In the future? Or are they already contained within the present? They are here. They are in me. They are in you. But only one possibility is fulfilled, and all the others are not, and will be fully completed in the future. But for this to happen, the future must come to the present, where probability and the future encounter each other virtually. Virtually. The second dimension of time does not go towards the future, but backwards towards the past. Let me read it again. The second dimension of time does not go towards the future, this other real, but backwards towards the past. The future is contained in the present, in the probabilistic of this inner time, so to speak, right? The probabilities of this inner time. The second dimension of time is, like the first, something internal and subjective. the second dimension of time, like the first, is internal and subjective. And may Lu help us understand this. There are great number of probabilities, but they are not infinite. The mystery is always, why is one realized and not another? The probability. Does or does not the possibility exist of passing through two or more doors at the same time? Is it possible? The visitors from the future would do it in that way. Only we pass through only one door. We, those here in the matrix, right? Let me read that one more time. The visitors from outside the matrix, from the future, they do it in a different way. Only we pass through one door. We, those who are here in the matrix. And we're going to continue with this great book. And we're going to get to our rune. Tonight's rune is GIBUR, GIBUR, right? GIBUR. And yeah, 1 second. Okay. In the north, Worth finds remains of old racial groups that did not migrate. Blonde, blue-eyed Eskimos in Greenland. Strangely, they sing a song. The men who come from under the earth are great and terrible, for the Hyperboreans came from there. And a legend tells the Eskimos have gone out from there, expelled from the interior, or rather by a chance destiny. They fell into a topological crease, window or gate that took them outside into that other reality. Blood groups have all served anthropological in blood groups have all served anthropological investigations. Okay. Group 1, AB, corresponds to a European Asiatic blend. You hear that? Group 2, AB is the first group. Group 2 is A, is that of white Caucasians, and curiously is found among the Vikings, the Comanche of the Canary Islands, and among the natives of Eastern Island. This is confirmed by Professor DeMahu, who states that the Viking leaders of the civilization of Tiahanaku, after the defeat and destruction of their empire, left by sea for Easter Island. Group 3, B, is found among the Mongols and Asiatics. The first group, AB, is produced by a mix between Group 2, A, and Group 3, B. There is a Group 4, O, and that is Indo-Americans. The Negroes also have mixed groups with greater percentages of Group 4, O. There also exists group factor RH, which divides into RH positive and RH negative. 70% of the Baskis, the green-eyed people, belong to this group, even when they declare only 30%. 70%. The blood groups today serve mostly to make us see how mixed the races already were and how much they have become. We again recall the mystery of blood. What is the blood of the Hyperboreans like? What is it actually like? Is it different? Contemporary hematology only analyzes physical factors. We should take into account, however, the blood, even today, is less materialized than water. Less materialized than water. In Hyperborea, it was a blue fluid, a blue psychedelic fluid. It still is. It still is for the divyas. The visions of the rishis and the mini singer, the European shamans, astral images, and extra cosmic poetry are their memories. Circulating shadows, golden and sometimes frightful. The alchemy of transmutation of the Vira into Divya in the warrior, and tantric initiation of Amor acts directly on the genes in the matrix. This has a magic action on the genes, blood, and its groups, altering the subtlest area of the metabolism. It alters the subtlest area of the metabolism, resurrecting to the Ativarna, beyond Varna, beyond physical. But this is only possible because the Aryan Viras, but this is only possible among Aryan Viras, among the twice born. Gibur, know thyself and be a god. Greenland is a remnant of the disappeared pole continent. It united Europe with America. Vast brown coal deposits under the ice prove this. It had vegetation identical with that of Europe, a moderate continuous climate, Greenland. The study of its carbon substantiates the even growth of trees without winter interruptions, like the tropics. The pole would still not have moved, nor the terrestrial axis yet shifted. Enormous deposits of coal are also found in Antarctica. There, the pole seems to be edging into the present with the perceptible changes of climate throughout southern Chile. GIBUR, GIBUR. Know thyself and be a god. GIBUR. Know thyself and be a god. Know thyself and be.
Short of breath, it came in like a song, and then she was gone. And like conditions in the weather, she's so much better.